All right, welcome back. Welcome if you're new to the channel. If you have been here before, first of all, thank you. And if you haven't been here before, thank you. You've probably noticed in the past couple of videos that I've been messing around with the format a little bit of how things are edited and the whole format of these videos. But I'm going to go back to the original format, if only because there's only like 2 weeks left before this contest is over and I gotta get these videos out. So I know I said this would probably be the last one before the supercut. It's not going to be the case. I was getting footage together and I was like, it's going to be a long one and I want to try and keep them short. So we're going to have a shorter, well, it's going to be longer than the last one at least, but we're going to have a little bit of assembly in this video. We're going to have one more assembly video and a sound test at the end of that video as well. And then we'll do the supercut. So I apologize if you liked the format of the last video. Sorry, we're going back to the other one. This is just easier to finish things with. But enough of that. Let's get on with the guitar building. All right? Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good idea. Thanks again. All right, quick flyover just to show you where we're at. We've got a clear gloss finish on the neck, which looks fantastic. I actually did pour fill on this, as you may have seen in the previous videos, and we've got a finished body, still with a few scratches, from wet sanding that I didn't quite get out. Probably mostly due to me not being patient enough, which is something I struggle with. So now it's time to glue the neck up, and so it's just spreading some glue around in the cavity on the body, and then doing the same on the neck, on the heel, and getting it ready to slot in there. And the moment that was really not... it's always nerve-wracking doing this part. You got to get the neck in there, make sure you have a good fit. And even so, part of one thing that happened was with my test fits, I think I sanded a bit too much, and I did take it easy on that, but I think I sanded too much, and the first couple of fit ups were a little looser than I had hoped. And prior to filming this, I actually did a fit where I tried to insert just a little strip of veneer on the side so that it wouldn't be so loose in there, but it ended up being just fine. So here I am drilling some holes for magnets. I'm going to put little tiny rare earth magnets in to the cavity right here, and you can see the magnets to the right there, and same thing on the cavity cover itself. And what I'm doing here is I'm carving back a little bit of that lip so that I can just kind of press my finger down on the cavity cover and kind of pop it out, and everything's secured with magnets. I saw it years ago, thought it was a brilliant idea, and really wanted to try it out on one of my guitars. So here is my attempt at doing something like that. I think one thing I could have done, I don't know that these magnets are as strong as they could be, but they do work, and we're going to see in a minute that the cover is secure. It does not fall out when you turn the guitar over, but just being gentle and getting those magnets in there. We're going to do the same thing with the cavity cover. It's kind of got some screw holes in it already to guide where you would place it. What I'm going to end up doing with these is I put a little toothpick or cocktail stick in those holes with some super glue and just kind of clip off the end. Yep. And put a magnet in there, obviously. So you can kind of see the other two, how they're sticking up above there a little bit. We'll fix that in a little bit. This cavity cover is finished. I think when I was wet sanding, I was not real happy with I might have sanded through the stain a little bit, so I actually refinished this a couple of times. More fails that I'm not showing you. Sorry, it's not my intent that I'm trying to hide anything. It's just this video this video is going to be a little bit long anyhow. So here you can see that cover get sliding in, and how you could just press down on the back side of it and it just pops right out. And then, but if you flip the guitar over and try and shake it out, it stays in place, which is great, what I wanted. Shielding paint for the back of the cavity cover. And this shields from, I believe it's electromagnetic frequencies, maybe even from RF frequencies as well. I'm not quite certain. But essentially all it is black paint with a bunch of graphite. So I've seen videos where, if you're familiar with Owen Luthery, Sean, I think he made a video where he showed how to make this paint. So using just like pencil lead or shavings or something like that and paint. I'll have to look that up, make sure that's correct. But I put tape down to make sure I wouldn't get any shielding paint on top of my already finished top and the body of the guitar. And that worked out pretty well. And we got a sneak preview of the Fishman Fluence Tosin Abasi model pickups and the cables that I mean, it comes with all the cable that, you know, for the pickups. It's actually a great value. I thought it's a little, you know, originally I thought it was a little pricey for a set of pickups. They were a gift from my sister as a birthday gift, and they come with, it's a great value because they come with all the cabling that they require. I think a battery clip, the jack, all the potentiometers. It comes with 4, and you'll see with this, I only end up using 2. I only wanted a master volume and master tone. It does not come with a switch because they believe that you should have the option, I think, for whether you want to use a 3-way switch and push-pull potentiometers, which, no, I can't remember. No, I did. These are not push-pull that I end up putting in here. That, or if you want to do mini toggles, or if you want to do a 5-way blade switch, which ultimately that's the way I went. I ended up getting a super switch, which we'll get to in a little bit. But I've marked out where I want those controls, and I'm drilling through from this side. And one thing I always forget is, like, drill a pilot hole first, and I guess I did that here, but there's always tear out. I really should have, like, drilled the small hole first, like I think I'm doing here, and then flip it over like this to drill the bigger hole. But I got tear out. It's not terrible, and it's completely covered up by the knob that the knobs for each potentiometer, so it worked out fine. But it's always scary drilling into a finished guitar. One trick that I have used pretty frequently is to run the drill in reverse so that it doesn't catch, it doesn't get that tear out as bad.
Step drill?
Yep.
Backwards?
And here we go, running the step drill backwards just to open it up a little bit. You can see the tear out on that, the control position that's a little higher up, closer to the bridge. You can see the bare wood. I touched that up with a little bit of purple stain, and here we are, getting a closer look. And I'm using the magnets. I've kind of placed them where I want the switch to go, like the front and the back end of the switch. But there you can see I hit it with some purple stain, and then I sprayed the clear gloss lacquer into a spice jar, an empty spice jar, and just kind of painting it on here. And, you know, we'll wet sand this area again and get it glossy. Here, this is probably unnecessary to go into this much detail about, you know, where the jack for the guitar gets placed, but I wanted it right in the middle, so just mark that and drill a pilot hole. Again, I'm not a big fan of drilling through a finished guitar, but I really thought that was the best way to do it. I mean, and it worked out. So just kind of running in reverse, and then I think I flip it to forward once I've made sure that I don't get any tear out when I drill through. And going bigger and bigger. All right, so look, it's not the greatest hand drill, okay? Or maybe it's the bit. Maybe the bit is the problem. Maybe it's my technique. Sometimes all three. All right, so originally I wanted to do this barrel jack. The problem is the depth to the backside to that control cavity is too deep for it, and I couldn't figure out a good way to shave that back or carve it back with any of the tools that I had to make it so that I could use that barrel jack. So ultimately I ended up using a just like a standard, what you'd find on like a Les Paul with the diamond. But here I used my Dremel with a router bit to route the slot for the 5-way blade switch, drilled for where the screw holes go, and then countersunk so that the screws for the switch are flat. And now I've got to... I didn't have a reamer when I made this. I actually bought a reamer because of this, but essentially we're doing the same thing. I'm running the drill in reverse. They just needed to be, for the tuning pegs that I got, they needed to be a little bit wider than what they were. So that's me widening them out. You can see a little bit of tear out there too. I can't recall what I did to fix that at the moment. And here we are placing the tuners in, center punching the screw that needs to go in. I'm going to put the two ends on and make sure that they are straight. Mark those holes, and then we're going to use some string to mark out where the high E and the low E, or I guess the high string and the low string, need to go as far as placement goes for the bridge. This is a multi-scale guitar. This is the first time I've ever installed a bridge on a multi-scale guitar. I probably could have gotten I think there's a hip shot bridge, like fixed bridge that would have worked really well for this. However, that stuff's pretty expensive, so I decided to give a single saddle approach a try, and I think I got them on AliExpress. They're inexpensive, and you can kind of see two of them right there. We'll get a better look in a little bit, but this is necessary to figure out, okay, how far back does it need to be, and where does it need to be placed. So here they are. Not bad, but that little thing on the bottom was a real pain, because that has to be sunk into the guitar. But here I just wanted to kind of line them up, and I used Post-it notes to mark my scale distances, and I actually used the top edge of each to say, like, this is where the bridge saddle needs to be. This line is 25.5 inches. And we'll just get a nice little fly through here. But I also wanted to make sure I could fit, like they were spaced appropriately so everything fit. And this is my technique to wax a screw. Just rub it on a birthday candle. Actually, that probably wasn't a birthday candle. I think that was actually a Hanukkah candle. Yep, that's me. I messed up so many times with screwdrivers and screwing hardware in. Slipped from the screw, damaged the finish. It's a real bummer when that happens. There were many times I had to kind of like fix dents and do that painting technique with a little bit of gloss lacquer. So I kind of used that bridge piece. I screwed it in so that it would sit in place, and I could use that scalpel blade or the craft knife to mark out where that little cutout needs to be for each of those saddles. And Then made sure that everything's still lined up. And this is with them screwed in, so I was sure that everything would fit. And then it turned out I messed one of them up, and when I was going to put the last one in after I had the outside ones in, I think this is probably where I messed up. I know I marked everything, but it was squeezed too tight, so I had to move one of these ends over. And here, just drilling the screw holes for each bridge saddle, marking out each of those little cutout areas. And then we go in with the pillar drill, or the drill press, to drill all the way through the body, which anytime, I've mentioned a few times already, very nerve-wracking. Essentially what will happen is this is the hole that the strings will go through from the back of the guitar up through, and I'm going to, on the other side, drill a wider hole so I can insert string through ferrules. Those pieces of wood you see on both sides, those are there to, I had to clamp the guitar down so that it wouldn't move while I did this. So I was clamped onto those pieces of wood. And here you can kind of see all the blemishes that I started getting there, but I don't think I got shots of using the thicker drill bit to get the backside ferrule holes. They don't go all the way through, they just go as deep as the ferrule itself. And it went fine. Here we just got a time-lapse version of me wiring up the controls. Like I said, I elected to go with a 5-way blade switch. You see the super switch right there. It just has like double the amount of leads. And what's really cool is the pickups, the Fishman Fluence. These are, again, the Bossy signature models. They come with schematics. Make it real easy to get it all wired up correctly. You know, the only problem you're going to run into is if you accidentally, you know, touch a signal to ground at some point, if you mess up. But messing's up pretty difficult, especially when you're just following the schematic. Like I said, this is it's pretty good value and pretty good kit. So in previous builds, I have placed a logo on the headstock that I created. To C and a G, I think for a while I thought I'd kind of go with like Cleveland guitars. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing that, but this is a water slide decal. You can see how it works, but it looks okay under finish. We'll say that. It's not the best. So here's where I go through, and I had sanded through the finish on the cover plate, so just sanded it all back on the belt sander and refinished it. Now I'm shaping the nut that will go at the headstock. Holds the strings in place, if you're not familiar. And here we are putting it in place. I'm just trying to feel on each side, make sure, am I exactly the width of the neck at this point? Do I go over it? Is everything good? All right, so that's it for this one. Like I said, there will be one more video. It's going to be assembly and sound test. Then we'll do a supercut, the whole build process, just, you know, tiny clips of, I think, what might be the most important pieces. We'll see. I'm gonna try and keep that under a half hour, so that might be rough with the way I don't know how to filter out footage, but in either case, thank you for watching. I hope you come back and check out the last video and then the supercut as well. And I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've. I apologize that I haven't been showing all of the fails in this one. I'm trying to, at least narrate what happened and how I fixed them, and show you some of the bigger ones, I guess. But in either case, thank you for watching this video. Come back soon.